So I'll just give a quick introduction to Authentify Art. Authentify Art is a data platform that provides artists, collectors, financiers, and insurers a secure and effective way to access and store the information that is important to each of them and to all of them. We use proprietary technology to identify, verify, and validate artworks, and then we can safely monitor condition and activity. Our solution really provides an unparalleled amount of access and data to information for anyone and everyone that wants to participate in the art world. So we're really proud of what we've created, and there's a great need for it in the industry because it's very difficult to go out and to be able to find good centralized sources of data in the space.
Garrett, my first question to you is, what is your business model?
So our business model at Authentify Art is to go B2B to C. So our end user is ultimately the collector, the enthusiast, or the artist. But our strategy to bring the service to those is through institutions. So whether it's insurance institutions, financial institutions, primary, secondary market, or educational institutions, we go through them because we believe that that's the best way to get the greatest access and to bring the best benefit for the most amount of influence and change at the fastest rate.
My next question is, what is your size or your prospective market, and where do you see it headquartered?
So the prospective market right now, so the art market is really, the art industry, the art world, the art market is really interesting because the art market itself that sells each year is about 70 billion, but the estimated value of assets in the world are almost 4 trillion. And so that's really what we see our prospective market opportunity and who we service. Not to mention, additionally, all of the artists who are constantly creating new content every day. So, approximately 4 trillion and growing would be the market that we could go after.
My next question to you is, where are your clients?
Oh, and I forgot to talk about the headquarters thing. So we are headquartered in San Diego. I am here in Rhode Island, just to backtrack. We spend most of our time in New York City. Where are our prospective clients? We're an international company. Art is global, right? So our mission and our audacious goal is to service the entire world, right? We want everyone to be able to come together because art travels too, right? We want the ability for you to travel the world and to be able to experience all the different kinds of art, because I think art is a voice to culture and to experience. And we want to be able to provide that level of transparency so that people can feel comfortable buying and trading art anywhere.
My next question to you is, what is your mission for the art industry?
Really, the mission is to enable the market. So we are not a marketplace. We will never be a marketplace. We are a data company that is focused on objective information. There's all of the information about the art assets themselves, where they were created, where they've journeyed, what is their history, what is their story, their purpose. But what we really want to do is we want to see a reach and an access that everybody feels comfortable participating, that everybody feels that they are able and have access to being part of art and understanding art. So we really see it as this educational opportunity to bring it to everybody and enable a market that could be much larger than it is now.
Thank you. My next question to you, how does Authenticity Art use data as a service to meet the needs of the young artists coming into the art world?
I think one of the challenges of the younger artists coming into the art world, and I think this rolls into the next question as well, but is that there's a lack of understanding of how to get to consumers, right? And then once you are able to get to consumers, like what's a process of business and how do you manage that? And how do you protect yourself? And what is all of this concept of buying and selling and royalties and experience and tracking? And contracts. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to make it as simple as possible, so that basically all you do is you create an art, you connect it to the platform, and then all you have to do is go and look at it, and kind of runs itself. And so it makes it very, very simple, so that really all new artists have to do is focus on creating. And it gives you the vehicle and the tools and the ability to get to that audience, to go direct to consumer, or if you want and choose to participate in other institutions, then you can, but to empower you and give you all the freedom to make those choices without it feeling overwhelming and daunting and discouraging. And without young artists saying, I could never make that a business, I could never make that my career. I think absolutely you can. Art is a service and art is a business. And you should feel empowered to do that.
Thank you. My next question is, how are you targeting young artists entering the art world to help them reach their audiences?
I think there's a few different ways. So we are working with educational institutions, and we're working with later career artists themselves who are really trying to mentor young artists into the space. And so that's anywhere from figurative art to artists who work with corporate collections to artists who are graffiti artists. Um, because I think, again, we kind of give them the tools to be able to guide and to mentor more young artists and to encourage them without it also being a heavy weight on themselves, and feeling like they can't give those young artists what they need to truly succeed. So we partner with other artists and educational institutions.
My next question is, how will this change the future for the art world and the business world?
So I think one, it will help create art as a service. I think it will change, or the goal is that it will change the way that the industry is experienced now, which is really secretive, and it's really kind of considered something that's for the ultra wealthy, and it's not inviting, right? And it's considered very difficult to become part of and participate. And so we're hoping to blow that out of the water and change it completely. We want to change the way that people think about sharing information and encourage them to share information, and that it's not something that's going to devalue art. And we want to encourage them that you don't need this scarcity in the market to create value around art. We want to say, listen, art is an experience that you share with people, and we need to bring that language and that opportunity to more people, so that they know, like, don't go to Marshall's and buy a flat piece of something that was printed on a wall. Like, go to your local artist guild and buy something from a fresh new artist and have an experience, because it's dynamic and there's energy put into it. I think we just need to open that up. And so the goal is that's what we do, right? We get rid of the stigmatisms that exist now around the market and the industry, and we create this really empowered place where people want to share and they want to participate.
Thank you. My next question is, how do you reach your clients? Also, how do you engage with your business clients with your service?
So right now, we go directly to the institutions. We engage one-on-one. We create meetings and proposals. We speak with chief curators about collections. We're speaking with heads of private banks and the heads of insurance departments to help create new products and new accessibility and use technology and understand technology. We are parts of associations that are trying to create standards and do the same thing around the world. So through all of this is how we reach out to our clients and engage. It's really a one-on-one process right now. We're not a self-service portal yet, so everything is filtered through us. The goal is that we will roll from the B2B to C, that it will eventually become a B2C where it can be a self-service portal, especially and specifically for artists. But right now we're one-on-one.
My next question is, how has the established art community, later career artists, and artist institutions ascend the world reacted to and supported authenticity art?
So we have a lot of supporters. I think interesting thing about the pandemic is that it kind of took the art industry and it threw it into high gear. It had to adopt technology. They had no choice anymore. They had to stop dragging their feet. The naysayers, the people who say this is not going to work or this isn't, they're becoming, their voices are becoming lower and lower because so many people are adopting technology and so many people want to embrace this. But there are people out there who just don't want to, because if you change the game, then you change the way that they control the market and the way that they make money. And there's just a few people at the top and there's many people at the bottom. And the few people at the top who will profit most. But the strategy that we have is that instead of going to those people and asking them to adopt the change in the market, we said we're going to go to the people that you depend on to support the market and ask them to change the market and tell them that this is the benefit for them and it makes it more secure and safer and it opens it up. And so that we have been very successful with.
Next question is, what are your top goals for Authenticity Art in the immediate terms in the next 3 years?
So immediately we're going into our beta space. So we have passed our alpha. We're going into beta. We're trying to get some really large clients onto the platform and moving, which we hope to accomplish in the next couple of months. We just put out our first art tracker, which is the monitoring technology. We're doing our first beta next week, and finishing the next round of fundraising. So we raised $1 million for the MVP, built the MVP with Keno Mullings, who's on the call and is amazing. And we're going into the next raise for 2.5, which we are extremely confident, and it should be hopefully wrapped up in the next 30 to 45 days. And long run, we hope to change the art space, right? We want everyone, ultimately what we see is that like we're a hub of technology, right? We're helping to pull together all of the really great technology companies and all of the people who are trying to do the right mission and enable the marketplace to grow. We want others to achieve success based upon this mission and just to really see it thrive. So it becomes like, is your art authentified? Do you authentify your art? Conquer the world.
Yeah. My last question to you is, how can the community support you moving forward?
I think the community can support us moving forward by, being curious about the art space, wanting to access and ask questions and reach out and be curious, right? Like I personally think art is the road to just an experience that everyone should have, right? It grounds you, it makes you present, it brings you joy, it brings you inspiration, it innovates our culture. And so, I want everyone to participate in some way. And I want them to start getting curious and I want them to start reaching out and finding out what it's all about, right? And because I think the more people who try to participate and try to do things, then the more awareness there is, right? And the more opportunity we have to succeed.
All right, everyone. Does anybody else have any questions for Carrie before we move on to our final session of our virtual world? My question always is, kind of what's the tech behind it? What are you using? My question always and always, but what are you using to kind of engage?
So it's a multi-level solution. It's a layered solution. So there's the platform that we work every day, all day, extremely hard with Keno to create and develop with a wonderful end user experience, making it very simple and easy for people to connect. There are IoT technologies that we have bridged the digital and physical world. So you take the data platform, you enter in all your information, you upload everything, you interact with it, and you hang all of that information onto RFID technology, which is NFC tags or UHF tags. You physically connect that to the artwork, so now that you know that these two things belong to each other and they're connected. We have created and actually sourced and invented a circuit board, ultimately, that is the monitor with all different sensors on it to track and create, manage and monitor the environment, because art is actually quite fragile. It's sensitive. It's affected by its by the air and the exposure to the elements that it's in. And so, being able to protect that, it's not that far off from, our human body, right? So we went out and we took actually technology that was created for humans and monitoring people and applied that to art. And then we worked with, so there's a partnership with IBM and Samsung, because everything in art is about identity and being able to identify the pieces, because there's so much, the way that the market works right now, there's a lot of, misattribution, fraud, confusion, however you want to, discuss those topics. But so there is technology that we have used, that we created, worked with IBM and Samsung to put technology into the phone that allows us to take images of a painting on the first time at like a nanowave. You're getting so low and so small that you're actually looking at the materials of the object, and you're able to, with a surety, identify it again the next time you see it. So as art is moving around, because part of the process and the journey of an artwork is to share it, is to move it around, to put it on loan in different museums. And it can be a little bit hairy what happens when you don't have your eyes on it. So this gives you the opportunity to know for sure that the thing you saw before is the thing you see now.
How do you make your money?
So it's a subscription model. So there is a maintenance fee to the collectors who ultimately use the platform. Or, it could be, we also do, some of the financial institutions, they take up that subscription fee and just pass on the use of the platform to the clients, but it's a SaaS model or a DaaS model.
Would this be like a Wikipedia where the artist's work is still posted so they can see what their history is?
There are different levels of privacy, which are decided upon by the owner of the work, whether that be the artist, the collector, the financial institution, the insurance institution, whoever is the owner at the time. The mission is we want everyone to share everything, but the way that we have created is that you can share what you want. So the platform is full of information, is all of your due diligence, all of your documents. But if you would just like to share the image itself or a little description around the image, you can pick and choose what you share. Excellent. So there is a public access level to it all.
Thank you, Carrie. This is fantastic. I'm so excited to learn what you've been working on this whole time. We do need to move into our next session, but Belly, thank you for asking fantastic questions. Carrie, thank you for participating. It was wonderful.